And we're back. Welcome to The Idea of, where we explore the noise, nuance, and everything in between. I am Mike,
I'm Bassey.
and this is a space where culture, creativity, and conversation collide. 2 weeks in a row, Bossy is healthy. We made it.
Relatively. No,
Are you feeling better?
I have lingering effects, like, just now. I think I told Jessica, I've just been having trouble waking up. I'm not a trouble waking up person,
Mhm.
um, or a person who has trouble waking up, and I've been sleeping just a lot harder, but, yeah, I have lingering effects, like, if it's too cold.
Mm.
I went to see Michael.
Ah, did we talk about that? No,
No,
because
we
you were going to
didn't.
go see it because you were sick. That's right, right.
I went to go see
Woo!
Michael
Let's just start.
on
Let's just go. Like, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish,
Well, let me
finish.
just whatever. The theater was cold, so I was, like, struggling
Uh-huh.
after because it was too cold, but Jesus, Michael.
Goodness gracious.
When did you see it, like, opening week or
Opening week
whatever?
on it came out Friday, I think I saw it on Saturday. Man.
I Okay, let's address the issues first. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't heavy on plot, but who the
Wasn't
fuck
heavy
doesn't
on
know Michael
plot.
Jackson? Like, yes, we know all
Right.
this already. I've seen American Dream, like, a
Yeah.
million times, like, but
This was for the
after
fans, like, this was
it
for
It
the
was for the
fans.
fa it's for a particular kind of fan.
Right,
It was
right.
for the people who grew up loving Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
not for the super stans who are crazy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not
yeah,
for
yeah.
people who don't like him,
Mhm, mhm,
if those people still exist.
mhm.
But when I
Although
found
they
'cause
do, they do.
yeah, the ratings, what was it? The critics rating was like 37%, audience rating was 97%, like, give
Yeah,
me a break.
right.
Um So I knew that they had edited a lot out. Like, I knew that. I knew
Mhm.
that they had to remove stuff about Studio 54, they had to remove Diana, they had to
Diana
remove
Ross, yeah.
Janet, like, there were certain things that they couldn't include, which made it difficult. I wanna see the director's cut. I know the director's
Me
cut is
too.
crazy. I know
Yeah.
that it is 4 hours and it is crazy. So all of the critique I heard, "Oh, they went too fast from here to here," it's like they had to cut out a lot. Like, they
Yeah.
had
You could
to.
almost see where they cut it out. Like, you could almost feel it, like, you're like, "Oh, okay, now we're
Yeah.
here, alright."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the transition from Off the Wall to Thriller was way too fast. It
Yeah,
was
and
way
there was a
too
lot that the
fast.
Studio 54 stuff was in there, the Diana
Yeah.
Ross
The
stuff was in there.
Wiz, they didn't
Yeah,
touch The Wiz at
they
all.
couldn't do it, they could how can you talk about The Wiz and not talk about Diana Ross? Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
there was a lot missing, and there were a lot of I remember when they were making the movie, there were a lot of, like, clips that I saw that weren't in the movie.
Mhm.
Um,
Did you notice
and
in the background of one of the pictures or one of the scenes, there was a picture of Jafar Jackson as Michael Jackson with the Scarecrow outfit on.
No.
Yeah, it was like I watched the video, like Easter eggs of the
Yeah.
Michael movie, and there was so much happening in the background that kind of
Uh,
showed you like things that they had either took pictures of or filmed that they were at least trying to like fill in some of the blanks in the background. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
They filmed for, like, 2 years.
yeah,
Like, it was a
yeah,
2-year shoot. There's gonna be a part 2.
yeah.
So, I think I get really frustrated with people who don't. This is why there's a literacy crisis. People who don't know how to connect dots and fill in
Hmm.
blanks. Where
Yeah,
it's like, why would they just not you think that they really just decided not to show whole parts of his life? A
yeah.
movie about his life, they decided not to show that as opposed to they did, and there are other reasons why they couldn't show it to us. Like
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
use your brain, people. Like that's the issue that I have. A lot of people are talking about it, and then there are these people who don't know anything about Michael Jackson. Like, oh, that couldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
Like
We
it's
know
brand
that
new information.
Beat It happened. We've known that since the making of Beat It
Right,
in
right.
1984 or whatever that documentary was. But I was I've been a diehard Michael Jackson fan since I was dead in front of the TV watching Motown
Oh
25.
yeah, for
I know
same.
I know how we went to school the next day and the world changed. It was a
Mhm.
different world. It was
Yeah.
there was pre Motown 25, post Motown 25. The world changed that second.
Mhm.
And it had been so long since I've seen the Michael that I loved
Yeah.
that
You
it
almost
was.
forget, right? Yeah,
I
you
I
almost forget.
I can't even say that I forgot. I just know that it is. I've not seen this guy. I've
Yeah,
seen he's been the person he ended up being longer than he was,
that
the Michael that
Michael.
we,
Yeah.
yeah, that Michael. So to
Mhm.
see him and to the Jafar,
Boy,
Jafar,
there were a couple times, like, a lot of times during the movie where I had to, like, tell my brain wasn't processing it was a different person.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
I literally had to be like, "That's not him, like, that's
yeah,
an actor," like, it masterful
yeah.
job,
When
masterful
he
job.
when he looked like Michael, he looked exactly like Michael,
Yeah.
right?
There are a couple
There
times where Jermaine peeked out in there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. There are a couple times like, "Oh, hey, Jermaine," but, like,
Yeah.
but it's enough of it was enough where you had to do that because, like, okay, this is the movie. We're not
Yeah.
watching a
This is not
documentary. Like,
him, this
it
is
was
not him,
important
right,
to, like,
right.
for me to, like, get pulled out of it. But
Yeah.
watching the performances, the voice, he walked like Michael,
The
like, the
talking
mannerisms, the
voice,
talking voice, the overall, like, demeanor, Michael had a personality that nobody else had. Like,
nobody,
nobody was like
nobody,
that.
a voice
Nobody was
nobody
like
else
that.
had. He
Yeah,
had this one.
mannerisms. Yeah,
The
good.
like, we all, like, studied Michael. Like, I feel like in this age range, like, this, like, that Gen X millennial blurred line that we always talk about here, like, those of us that were Michael fans, like, we were a specific Michael fan.
Yeah.
And I keep on trying to explain. I was trying to explain to Ellington, to Brooklyn, and just like folks that aren't in our range, like what that was, like what that felt like. And, a lot of people have said, man, like if Michael was around with the internet or if Michael was around with social media, he would be this or he would be that. Here's the thing. And, and I couldn't, I've been working this analogy literally since I saw the movie, like right before the movie came out, we started seeing clips. Michael Jackson and everything he embodied was the internet by himself.
Mhm.
Like there was nobody, like I don't think people can understand in the current context with social media and with the internet, like how our attention is siphoned into so many different ways, right?
Mhm.
Music, sports, everything all at once, right in front of your face. Michael Jackson embodied all of that in one person.
Mhm.
It's like his star status was there was nothing like it before him, and I don't think there'll ever
It's not
be
possible.
anything like it.
It's not
Th-
possible.
There was
It's not
too
possible.
much energy around him. Like I don't care if you were a thug, if you were a nerd, if you were inside, outside, like Michael Jackson was the embodiment of the internet. He was like beyond a star. He was
He was
beyond the
he
sun. Like he was just
he was n there's no
yeah,
way to there's no way to there's no comparison to what
there's
Michael Jackson
nothing.
is.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not possible. Like, we like to say, and I love Beyonce, Beyonce is very much
Yeah. No.
of the essence. She's like LaCroix, like, she's of the essence, but
Yeah.
it is impossible to do what he did on the level that he did, like, ear to mouth. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't, like, sending clips to each other. We sitting in that theater, I knew the dance routines from the
Nope.
Jackson 5 up to
Thriller.
I knew everything,
Yeah.
like, my muscle memory was reacted
Yeah.
was, activated. We used to play Michael Jackson
Yes.
at recess. You know
And
what I
we
mean?
would
Like,
be
we
like,
used
"You be bad, I'll be Thriller, you be Billie Jean." Like,
Exactly.
that was our
Exactly. And
play. Yeah.
we had it, but we didn't have a tutorial on TikTok to do the
Right.
dances.
Right.
We can watch them over and over in one sitting on repeat to get the
Right.
dances. We had to we were so locked into him in a way that
Mhm.
just cannot exist anymore.
Yeah.
It just can't exist. And for a majority of us, have you ever been to a Michael Jackson concert?
I've been to a Mike no, I don't think I've ever been to a Michael concert. No.
Yeah,
No.
so the
No.
majority of us have never seen Michael perform live and can't ever, the same way that we can see other people, but
Right.
we know all of this. Like, I knew
We
he was
know
gonna
the
go over there.
moves, right.
I
The
knew that he hated the
looks.
fact that he wasn't on his toes long. Like, I knew everything
Yeah.
about this man
Yeah.
because of how much a part of the fabric of culture. He invented a certain kind of culture.
Entertainment
Like,
culture, yeah.
he didn't like, he's like, "They couldn't play him on MTV?" I was like, "No, they
Yeah,
didn't play black people on MTV until Michael Jackson."
until
I was
Michael
like
Jackson.
"Nigga, they used to show his videos on CBS. They would not show whatever it is they were gonna show and have, like, a whole thing on CBS."
Do you remember, Bossy? This is a specific Michael feeling. It's a memory, but it's like an anticipation. 84, 85, waiting for them to show that Pepsi commercial, just like hoping and praying, like, please let them show the Michael Pepsi. Remember, there were two
The extended
versions.
one, the
There was
extended
two
one.
versions.
The
There was
one with
two.
Alfonso Ribeiro,
Yes, there were
that was the
two
one.
versions. They played the short version. It was like, all right, cool, choice of a new generation. But the extended one, man, it was like getting a gift. It was
It
like we'd
was
get up and do the moves, and
you
Alfonso
were gonna
Ribeiro
have
would
a good
spin and turn
day. If
around
you
like,
saw the full video, you
oh,
were gonna have a good day. I'm actually gonna go back and find the video because I loved when I tell you I loved Alfonso Ribeiro, when I tell you
he was the tap dance kid. Like that was him.
yes,
Yes,
the tap
yeah.
dance kid, him and Julie Hill, I loved him too, but
Oh my God.
and then he was on Silver Spoon. I loved that man so much, and it was
Waiting
his
for
pro
that
I
commercial.
drank Pepsi for a
Only
good
because. Only because to this day, my drink of
to
choice is
this
Pepsi.
day, I prefer Pepsi because of Michael Jackson.
Waiting for that commercial was so, and I think the movie captured greatly, like, the sorrow that we all felt when that fire burned his
Oh,
head, like, and I
we didn't
feel
even
like
know it was this bad.
it also it unlocked a memory because I feel like on some news channels, I don't know if they didn't have, like, underground video back then, but I remember seeing the scene of him patting his hair. Do you remember that? Where did we
I
see
remember that.
that?
I
Was it on
remember
the
that
news or
there was like a behind the scenes clip that
and when
went
he
around for
waved
like
and he
2
still had the
seconds.
glove on? Remember he still had
Yeah,
the glove on? Like, I
yeah, going through the
remember
thing.
seeing that in real life, but I was like, when would I where would I have seen that?
I feel like it was out, then it disappeared, and then a couple of years ago, it resurfaced, and I remember, I was like, "Oh, I've
Mm,
seen this," but you know what happened? Our memory of that was replaced by the version they did in The American Dream, where he was up
mm.
there spinning, and he's like, "Oh, my hair," and then he
Uh,
spins down the thing.
oh,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the whole thing of him, like, still dancing and still going, I was like, "Y'all hold him," because he was a G. He didn't fall
Right,
over. Like,
right.
it was really serious, and you could see what I really liked about the movie, in which I again, there's certain things I wanted to see more of, but I understood why they couldn't.
Mhm.
Like, we didn't know for I didn't know, I'll speak for myself, that the fire had that effect on him.
Me either, and I feel
I
like
didn't know
the
that.
longer time goes on, the more we hear
Mhm.
how much that, that is what caused his addiction to painkiller, what
Yeah, they
started him with
foreshadowed it.
I didn't know that to that extent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't know that he had to wear wigs forever to
I
cover
didn't
up
know
the
that
I
either.
did
I didn't
not
know it was a
know
third
that.
degree burn. I
I
didn't
did not
know
know
they
that.
just
I
made
did
it
not
seem
know
like,
that.
oh, his they were jokes. They were like Jerry curl jokes.
Yeah,
I
for
did not
sure.
know they did a really good job of showing that. They foreshadowed the drug stuff,
Mhm,
of the
mhm.
painkiller stuff. Um, you saw the American Dream, right?
Yeah,
Jackson's
yeah, yeah,
American Dream.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm.
have it memorized. I met Jason Weaver and because they were
Oh,
on Teen
really?
Summit, like right before
Oh,
it
yeah.
aired.
Oh,
So
that's
we got
cool.
like the little the CD of it.
Mhm.
Uh the kid who played Little Michael Jackson was fantastic. I preferred
Brilliant.
Jason Weaver's Little Michael Jackson because
Mm.
he
Yeah, yeah,
sang,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think this little kid was brilliant. I wanted to see more of that
Of the
from
little yeah.
yeah, because you what they did in American Dream was they made Joe Jackson to be like a boogeyman, but like in a physical, um, physically imposing kind of way. But then he
Mhm.
had moments like that's still my son, or like moments where it's
Right.
like that's my boy, like stuff
Right,
like that.
right, right,
This Joseph, psychological terror.
right, yeah,
He was
yeah.
horrible, like
I don't know
horrible.
if that was like Coleman Domingo's acting because he just embodied evil in such a great way. But I mean, not but I think American Dream humanized Joe
Mhm.
in a different way, right? I mean, they had longer to establish his role and everything, but yeah, this one it was almost like he was popping up like a horror movie, like a
Yes,
monster for
I
real, like an
told you what to
actual.
think. And I was like, "Michael, move away, like, move out."
Right.
Like,
Why are
you're
you
still in
making
the
Thriller
house.
and still going back home? Like,
You're
what are you doing? What are
or
you
you go
doing?
to the garage and make it and then go with Bubbles. I didn't like the
Right.
Bubbles part. The CGI monkey
Yeah, that was
was a lot.
unnecessary.
And
Yeah.
I walked away. My sister and I talked about this in the car. I was like, "Was he on the spectrum?" Because there's a lot of, like, in retrospect, autistic, like,
Mhm. I think
coded
that's a very
behavior.
fair question. I
Yeah,
think that's a very fair question. I
yeah.
think on some level, here's what I never understood about the Jackson family, and I need like the jokes aside, like all of the men
Y'all
in the
couldn't beat his
Jackson,
ass?
except for that, but except for Tito, maybe. But why did they all talk like that? Like, why does all of the Jackson family have that like to this day, Janet Jackson still has that like
Yeah.
has a and I think on some level that due to the abuse of Joe Jackson, like they literally had to grow up either sneaking or
Mhm,
whispering or like
mhm.
their voices were not appreciated outside of singing, right? So
Yeah.
like singing Michael Jackson, you hear a lot of artists talk about like my persona on stage is different than who I am at home, but like I just don't understand how six grown men all have like such similar we've seen kind of like, you know, the things that people make joke of. They all had like issues with their appearance on some
Mhm,
level.
mhm.
Hair, nose jobs, face jobs.
Oh,
Joe
Joe's
Jackson
fault.
now, I mean, Jermaine looks like a Ken doll on some level. Like,
Yeah.
you got to assume that that's a result of, I don't know, like abuse or
It's
just,
definitely abuse because Joe I mean, he spoke about he called him Big Nose, like,
yeah, that
he
was funny.
really
I
went
laughed when he
in.
said that.
He
It was
and then
so
he
out of
was
the
like,
blue. It was like, what?
right, and then when he got the nose job, he was like, "What did you do that for?" Like, "Nigga, what do you mean?" Like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean, why'd I do that?
Like, how am I
Why'd you
just
call me
dancing
Big
and you call
Nose
me Big
every
Nose?
day
Like, I'm just
every
doing
day?"
a spin. Like,
Exactly. Like,
I'm
what?
just spinning. Like, I don't, like, what's going on?
And
Whew.
there's a level of, like, to your point, like, infantilization
Yeah.
where they just were never adults. Like, they never fully became adults. A lot of them got married when they're, like, 14 to just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and, uh okay, I'm gonna say something and please just know that I am all respects, in all aspects, I consider myself a feminist. But Catherine, bitch, stand up. What the fuck?
You're not gonna say nothing? Like, nothing.
Like, "Oh, Joe."
They,
Like, literally, she'd be like, "Oh, Joe."
assuming she was scared to get beat too, but like,
After a point, though.
even in the Jackson movie, we didn't, in the American Dream, we didn't really see any effects of damn, what's her name? You just said her name
Catherine?
of Catherine being abused physically anyway, right? So maybe
I mean,
that didn't happen.
it's
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way that he didn't her. And my brother has had this theory for years. Not theory, but, like, this thought where it's like, it's Reby, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and then Michael.
hmm hmm
So it took 5 people before Michael Jackson. Had they quit, had he this sounds terrible. Had Joe not been abusive continuously, they would have had
yeah,
maybe 3 kids. It would have been Reby, Jackie, and Tito. But the fact that they had to go like, that they went to Michael and then had to keep going to Janet,
Mhm.
that speaks a lot about, um, because the argument is always like, who would they be who they are without without Joe's abuse? And the answer is no. There was a part in the scene, I mean, there's a part in the, I mean, Michael would definitely still be an entertainer, still be a singer, dancer, but to what level is not known.
Yeah.
Um, but 2 things, um, Catherine, because I read the Michael Jackson book that was written by Randy something. He does all the, like, the celebrity unauthorized celebrity things, and Catherine, she was a victim of abuse, I'll say that, but
Mhm.
she also used her influence a lot, and they didn't really show that, where she's the one who convinced Michael to do the Triumph tour and the Victory tour
Yeah. Yeah.
for his brothers, and that was a level of, like, soft control that she had over Michael specifically, but most of them. So whether it be like intimidation or fear or what have you from Joe, she still had a hand in a little in some of it. And and this is the same thing for like the DeBarge mom, who, don't even get me started on her. Um,
I don't know much about the DeBarge
so that's a
story.
whole different episode. That's a whole different episode. I've read all their books too.
Mm,
Crazy. Um, After a certain point, it is, I am a Black woman in the 50s with 10 kids who came out of poverty. But then you gave birth to 2 of the biggest stars who ever lived.
of all time,
I
yeah.
feel like there's a leaving there that could happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit more, maybe I'm being insensitive to abuse victims, but
No, I don't
after
even
a
think it's
certain
abuse.
point.
I just feel like you don't hear stories about Black women leaving men in the 40s or 50s. Like, you just hear stories of, you hear stories of the abuse, you hear stories of men having multiple families and all over, whatever.
And he did. That's another thing.
Yeah, he did. I didn't know
Yeah.
that until this Michael drop that there's another Jackson kid somewhere.
In Las Vegas, who I
Yeah,
think her mother is white, and he allowed her to call him dad. He would not let his kids call him, they called him Joseph and mother.
yeah,
He would not let them, but he let her call him
crazy.
Mike or dad, and, like, would spend all this time with her. One of my favorite parts of the American Dream. "Joe
Yeah.
Jackson, you're a liar and you a cheat." Um,
Yeah. But I
what
looked
was I
at the Michael movie, then we can move on from Michael. I feel like it's late. But I feel like the Michael movie, you remember after concerts, I don't know if they did this in the 80s, but definitely in the 90s, they had like the fan album,
mhm,
and it would have like all the dynamic pictures from that whatever that moment. Like, that's what
mhm,
this movie was to me. This movie
yeah,
was like a fan album to the point where and this is they did this masterfully, but like every image, I don't know why people always call me in the middle of my life. Every image from like every scene, like I remember that. Like, I remember
mhm,
the first time that I saw him wearing that white t-shirt with the red jacket when
yeah,
he wore when they used to sell singles and he wore the Human Nature single. Remember, it had the
yeah.
yellow background. He had the yellow
Is it
he had
sweater vest?
yeah, it was 2 of them. It was 2 of them for the Human Nature. It was a brown leather
That
jacket.
that he wore, that he was in the studio with in the
Yes, and I
movie.
was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I remember that." I remember like
that
the
was my
whole
favorite.
oh my god.
I used to have, and this is something I might have to bring up in therapy. I used to have the Michael Jackson, trading cards that came with, like, the terrible bubble gum.
Yes! I
Yeah,
had
so
those
I had
too.
one of my favorite ones was the one with the leather jacket. It
Yeah.
was the one where he had on the, yellow sweater vest and the white shirt.
Uh-huh.
Um, there was one, like, behind the scenes in the Beat It video when he's
Uh-huh.
sitting on, like, the director's chair that says Michael on the back. Um, I oh my god, I'm about, like, my heart, like, I loved that man die.
Yeah.
I loved him
Yeah.
die, and
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
this movie and watching Jafar just remind me of this man that changed my life, that I loved more than anything during that time. Watching him bring him to life was I would have paid another $20.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see it
Worth the
again.
price. I'm gonna see it
Yeah.
again. I'm gonna
I'm
see it
gonna
again.
own
I saw
it.
it
Like,
in
yeah.
D XD, an XD box or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like surround sound,
Yeah.
it was beautiful, and I will watch it.
Yeah.
I just think it was done so well. I think that
Yeah.
Jafar, for this to be his first acting, his first movie,
Yeah.
for it to be so high pressure,
Yeah.
um,
And
it
for the
it's
storyline not to, for the storyline not to capture everything, I'm okay with it.
I'm
Like,
fine with it.
it's cool. Like, it's fine.
I'm
Like,
fine with
it's
it.
not
I
gonna
went to a
win an
Michael Jackson
Oscar.
concert. I'm
Yeah,
fine with it.
exactly, exactly. It's not gonna win an Oscar for, best script or anything, but Jafar should be up for an
Oh,
Oscar.
if Rami Malek won for Bohemian
I
Rhapsody,
was like, yeah, for Queen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Come
then
on.
Jafar is in there. He doesn't have to do
Gotta
anything
be.
else. And then the
Gotta
part
be.
two's coming out. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't owe us anything. He put everything
Yeah.
into this role, and I understand. The funny thing. So Michael Jackson fans will not hear that Michael doesn't have biological children. They won't hear it.
Okay.
Prince,
Yeah.
Paris, and Blanket are bi. Look, they look just like him. They do all these,
Like,
like, they look just like him. First of
I'm
all,
sorry.
the Jacksons have such strong genes.
The
Like,
blackest of features.
you can see it could be 3 generations in, you can still see the
The
Jackson in
blackest
these
of
white kids.
features.
You
Right.
can see them.
Right.
But Michael Jackson, who is the Jacksonist of all Jacksons, his
Right.
kids, you have to, like, put in different light and, like, turn
Mm,
the photo this way in order.
yeah.
Anyway,
They might have worn the same eyeliner. Maybe.
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 There's nothing Jackson about these kids.
At all.
Yes, they're his kids by love, yes, but they're not biological. But I mean, even though I do think Jafar needs to do a DNA test, because his mother was running through those boys. So who knows?
Right?
Because he looks so much like Michael,
Yeah.
so
And did you
much like
notice
Michael.
the subtle, like, in between scenes when I guess they didn't, like, comment like, "Oh, Michael got a nose job," or "Michael did this." Like, you saw his, like, image changing throughout, and
Yeah,
they did it in such, like, a subtle way, and the more, you progress through the movie, the more Jafar became Michael. It
yeah,
was great. It was
it
one
was
point when he did
insane.
something turned I was like, "Oh, shit, like, that's him. Like, there he is."
Yes,
That was
there was
wild.
there was a scene uh when I can't remember what was happening, but for a full 5 minutes he was Michael.
Yes,
For a
yes.
full five. There's certain things where, like, his jawline is a little bit different, and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
and, and it's crazy because when his nose got smaller, the the um the juxtaposition between, like, his
Yes,
jaw and his nose,
yes. Yeah.
which again, when I went back and looked at Michael, you could also see how he was changing his, like, jawline to match his new nose. So
Mhm.
his I didn't realize just how extensive his plastic surgery was until you see this kid that looks just like him
Yeah.
with the first nose. Because I say Michael Jackson was, like, the most beautiful Michael. I was like, this man is gorgeous. Like, stay like this, and
Yeah,
then he just started whatever. But,
yeah.
like, Jafar is like that beat it.
People forget how that was on video jukebox or whatever, waiting for the Say video to
I
come
loved
on.
that video so
That vid
much.
yo,
That
you
song, that video,
that song was
it was
crazy.
so good.
The video, that was the old Western video, right? Where
Yeah,
it was
when
they were
they
on the train or
what do you call
the
it?
buggies.
Smoke snake oil salesman.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that was another video we would wait on, like, please, I
Yes.
hope they play Say. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It was but there's one thing else that I wanted to say. I like the fact that they kept showing his fascination with Peter Pan, and then that was another, like,
Yeah.
way to, like, show, like, this is his nose changing again. This is his
Mhm.
nose changing again.
Yeah.
Um
You saw
but
the
yeah,
clips where they've asked Jafar in real life, like, what's the biggest misconception about your uncle? And he said, that the biggest misconception is that he wanted to be white.
Mm.
that he was like a proud black man. I just think that's so important coming from the family. Like,
Yeah.
and he knew him. Like, I was trying to think, like, was he alive when he was like, but he was 13
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
passed away. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and they were all like, even when they weren't, like, fucking with their brothers or their siblings, they
yeah,
were close to the kids, like,
yeah, yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
nephews
yeah.
and nieces have a lot to say, but the scene in the CBS was with Mike Myers, which caught me off guard when the
That was
credits
crazy.
rolled. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"What?" When he was doing that, he was like, I'm a proud black artist." I was like, "Okay, that's a little heavy-handed, like,
yeah, yeah. He probably didn't
that's
say
a
it
little
like that,
heavy-handed."
but
Yeah, that's
they
a little heavy-handed, but I hear what you're trying to do here.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but his his fans are crazy because uh I saw this video where someone was talking about Paris and how she didn't like the movie and she didn't want anything to do with it, blah blah blah. I'm like, when I see a comment that says, she only knew him for 11 years. We knew him for 50. I was like, that's
like,
that's his
ma'am,
daughter.
come on,
What's his
relax.
daughter? She only
Wow.
knew him for 11 years. Her dad?
That's her father, right? Like, that's crazy. That's wild. But yeah, I'd encourage
Yeah, I
people to
loved
go
it.
see it. I wanna go see it
Yeah.
again. Like, I think it was a well done movie. Well done
Well
movie.
done. Showed us what a brilliant artist he is.
Yeah.
Human being. I went back. I mean, I've always listened to Michael, so it wasn't like I went back, but I really going back and like after watching him perform these songs that we don't see him perform a lot, like
Beautiful. Beautiful.
just beautiful.
Well, Bossy,
Beautiful.
this week it's
It's a
been
lot.
back up. You know, we had some comments. I don't know if I want to share them now because they were
We
from
never do.
it
So at
was from
some
the
point
Men
we
All
need to
Pause episode, which like people
just
had a
read
lot
them
to
because
read them.
it's not fair to ask people to comment. Then we're like, "Mm, we're not
Okay.
gonna read
All
them."
right. So these are some comments. They had some beef from with me. This is from Charlene Banks. No, 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 no. This is from Kia Conception. She says she's talking about me. You idiot. No, I'm playing. She
Oh,
says, she says he doesn't get it. We were talking about, I can't really tell what part, but maybe you remember. He doesn't get it. He's been socialized in the patriarchal system such that he can't see that women are socialized to be wives and serve their family, and men are socialized to put themselves first and to be served. And I know we were talking about different phases in life and I can't remember like the specific context, but when I read the comment, I was like, oh man, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Um, so that was from Kia Conception.
menopause. Thanks.
And
Yeah.
then Charlene Banks, I feel like she's left a comment a couple times. She says, "I love the conversation about mental health and reframing your thoughts. I help people with their spiritual growth, and Mike's way of coping with negative thoughts is exactly what works. It's all about attention. What you focus on grows. Energy follows attention rather than regrets of the past or anxiety about the future. Think about what you want to feel now. Bossy is also correct. Don't bypass the truth just because it's uncomfortable. It's a balancing act, right?"
Mhm. Thank you,
That was
Charlene.
that was from Charlene. Excellent capturing there. And from our favorite Yetunde,
Hey, today.
she says she was exhausted with the episode. There are a lot of people that told me, like, man, that episode was heavy. What I got from this episode was, and she puts deep breath. So it is incumbent upon the husband to foster an environment where the wife can feel comfortable slash encouraged to misbehave a little bit and not be judged harsher for the same offense as when a man does it. But I could be wrong. That was her comment.
I think that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
Were we recording when I talked about this book that I'm reading that I need to give up? Were we recording?
Just today? No, we weren't
Yeah, just
recording
today.
then.
Okay,
We weren't recording.
so in this book, this man like just walks away from his family. Just like
Hmm.
one day he walks away, his wife is frantic, his kids are frantic, they think he died, like, and then he shows back up 25 years later.
Mm.
And for some reason, he's telling her the story of everything that he did while he was gone. I don't know why they haven't gotten to the why he's gone part, but the part about him talking about why he went or what he did or the reason was so infuriating because he was like, "Yeah, and then I, went to France for a little bit and, went to America and, met this woman, had 2 more kids," like, just, like, talking about this thing, but he feels so justified in doing what it is that he did. They haven't gotten to what the reason is yet. And
Mhm.
as I'm reading, the reason I'm getting so frustrated is like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
There's nothing
yeah.
you could have done, though you walk away from your wife and 4 kids, they think that you're dead. Not only did you walked away with, like, no regards to how they're gonna pay bills. She's a housewife. So now
Mm.
she's gotta do all this work to, like, make up for the shit that you just walked
For your
away.
absence, yeah,
You just
yeah.
walked away, had a bunch of babies, and you lived a life. You married some rich Italian bitch. Like, you did all of this stuff. That's his part of the book. Her part of the book, 'cause it's dual POV, is like, I had to sell the house. I had to I had to tell
Mm,
my kids that all of these different things that she had to do to
mhm,
make up for whatever the reason that he thinks is such a great reason for him to have, like, literally walked away from his family to the point where they thought that he must have gotten killed and was unidentified. That's the way that it was. And so
mm,
I was thinking about that in regards to what we were doing, which was like, she couldn't do that. There's no
mhm.
way that a
There's
woman
no
could do
place.
that. As a matter of fact, the man's mother did that, and she was the villain in his story.
Mm, mhm,
His
mhm,
mother did
mhm.
that, and then he is justifying his reason for doing the exact same thing and vilifying his mother for it. And it's just so frustrating. I was like, a man wrote this. And yeah, a man wrote it.
I
A
was like,
man
"Yep,
wrote it.
sounds about right, sounds
Yeah,
like it."
and I just
Yeah.
it, so to that point, it's like a woman cannot do that. They're going to have to take care of things or be villainized for doing it.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that's just real life.
That's real
So,
life. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I think what we were talking about at the time was I think you were sharing that perspective and the perspective this was before we hadn't even talked about the the murders of Serena Fairfax and that we weren't even talking about that, but
yeah.
just naturally we were kind of preempting that kind of conversation. I think talking about the role of the man in a household, like stereotypically, assuming gender normality, like just I don't know, like the power. I think that's what who was the comment?
Is she
What
right?
Kia
Oh,
Conception when she was saying that I don't get it. Um I questioned her comment, but I was like, what I'm saying is a different I don't know, it's not a normal narrative. And the narrative is that like, the woman has to do everything and they control the energy in the house. They do and I think all that is accurate on some level, but there's a role that men play that have I'm using allow, but it's not allow. It's not like, yes, I give you the permission to. It's not that. It's has to have the disposition for certain things to happen in a household. And the
oh.
problem with so many households is that men don't do that. Is that they are so, oh, nothing moves without me. And they're so afraid of letting power go in a certain way that it causes all your sons to speak in a woman's voice for the entire life. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
not a woman's voice, but they don't
in
raise their
in a soft
voices.
voice. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
they don't
saying?
raise
No,
their
in a woman's
voices.
voice. Like it's safe to say that.
I mean, Janet talks like that too. So,
True, true,
and
true,
I
true.
feel like maybe Catherine talks like that.
Maybe that
I
might
feel
be
like Catherine does
something.
talk like that
Maybe they
because
were mirroring their mother's, behavior.
well, I think for Joe to be such a huge imposing uh force, and all of them just unanimously love their mother.
Mhm,
So I feel
mhm.
like the shaping of their personalities as people comes from their mom because their father Joseph was just a disciplinarian and uh, their boss basically.
Is there
Um,
anything to learn from I think I posted that this is kind of what I talked about in my solo episode about Joe Jackson, the perception of Joe Jackson is like, is there any, will the history books, whatever that means, ever tell a full story? And do we need to know a full story of the Joe Jacksons, of the LeVar Balls, of the, um I don't say Ike Turner because they didn't really
No,
have any
I was
kids.
thinking Ike
Were you
Turner.
gonna
I was
say
thinking
Ike?
Ike
Yeah.
Turner. I was thinking Ike Turner, and I think there is. I think there's a level of nuance that happens because when you think about it, Joe Jackson, the Jacksons came out like when the 60, 68, 67, 68,
Mhm.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, my
I
mom always
know
says.
that I feel like Mike was born in 53. So you have this man who grew up in Jim Crow,
Right.
one of the poorest. Gary, Indiana, was a steel mill worker.
Mhm.
Where do you learn the gentle parent in 1924?
And what does it
Gina,
serve you? Like, what does
what
it serve you for your
what
children to
does it
not be
serve you?
disciplined?
Because
Yeah.
you have created this relentless schedule for them where they don't get to do anything else. In
Right.
Gary, Indiana, that
Yeah.
anything else could be
It's
anything else.
right.
So
Right.
there's a scene in the movie when Catherine, when I think Joe says, I got them out of Gary, Indiana. And Catherine says, did you? And I was like, yes, he did. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's not do too much. Like he
Right. Right.
definitely had a plan to get them out. Now we can talk about all of the psychological stuff that happened after that. But one of the things that I push back a lot on when we look at the past from today's eyes, these are people who their idea of survival and what it
Mhm.
means to survive and how to survive is much different than it is now.
Yeah.
Now you can as a father, as a father of multiple kids, basically, that there are things that Brooklyn can do that Ellington can't do. There's a way you can talk to Ellington that's not going to land well with um
Mhm.
with
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
I know for E that you can't push him too hard in one direction because he'll just fold. Like
Yes.
he'll just fold.
Yep. Mhm. Mhm.
So even with like the soccer thing, and I think that sounds like maybe I should have like pushed him more, made him go run and
That's
put,
what
barbells in his backpack and make him
I
run.
thought
Like,
the same thing, yeah. I
right. Like
thought the same thing.
he could be playing Premier League right now had I done
Mhm.
that, but it would have broken him. Like
Yes.
it would have destroyed the kid that he
Right.
is. And I see that with him and with Michael. Like Michael was super talented.
Yeah.
I a lot of people would be loath not to want to like to nurture, not exploit, but like nurture it. But
Right.
he was fragile as hell. Like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
fragile when he was in the ticket when he was talking about how he didn't have any friends and he was like they like to take pictures. I was like, well, you weren't as famous then as you ended up to be. There were
Mhm.
probably in the school you went to, there were other famous kids. So it was a you thing. Like you had trouble fitting in.
Mhm.
You had trouble sort of navigating personal relationships. And as a parent, you see that and you're like, okay, this kid needs to be handled with a little bit more care, as
Right.
opposed to I'm going to handle him the way I handle all of them.
Joe was like, "Fuck that. One size fits
Fuck,
all."
fuck that. Oh, you did great. Everybody else sucks, so
Everybody
everybody
right,
got to run.
everybody
Like,
get a beating, right?
yeah,
And
it.
on some
Ugh,
level, right? On some level,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, we got Michael and Janet. I
That's
mean,
what I'm
the whole
saying.
family
Like, it's
successful, and even the beating. I've never really like. My mom's told me my grandmother is Jamaican and Cuban. They were immigrants to this country, so you already know how that belt was flying and how my
mhm.
mom told me stories about, my uncles were in the streets and my uncle stole something and my grandmother put his hand in the toaster. Like, and it was kind of like,
Okay.
well, that's what happens. You steal, you get burned. And so it's like, I don't think we can, I think it's dangerous to apply, like, again, we've talked about this so
Dangerous.
many times, always a Michael reference, to apply like a 2026 or even a 2000, even a 1995 view on what was happening in 1958.
Yeah.
Like it's
We it
apples and oranges, and also like those black families also were dealing with the different level of racism, a different level of
mhm.
Jim Crow. They were in Indy freaking Anna.
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, so, I mean, I I wouldn't say I extend grace to Joe Jackson, but I definitely understand
Yeah,
why he raised his kids the way that he did. Could he have
yeah.
done differently? Could he have gone to counseling? No, because that wasn't even a thing
That
back
wasn't a
then, right? That
thing.
wasn't even a thing, right?
And and
So,
and and it's one of those things where I do believe that every generation thinks that they're improving on the one before, and I think that every parent, like, for him, he was like, "Well, my daddy made me drop out of school and work in a steel mill.
yeah,
You guys get to go on stage," and then,
right.
like, you know what I
Like, what's
mean?
the
So
problem? Like,
so
what
so
are we crying about?
I think that I think that the conception or the perception is that he was just exploiting his kids for the hell of it. And
Yeah,
I do believe that he thought that he did get his kids out of a situation that was a dead end
yeah,
for anybody else. And
yeah,
so I don't the method is not a method I would have chosen, but when you don't know anything else and
yeah,
when you look at the way that other people are doing things that don't work and the way that you were raised that didn't work,
mhm,
you go to the other extreme. So it's
yeah,
not and I think that how he raised Michael
mm,
specifically broke him because Michael had a different I think he was on the spectrum, but he had
yeah,
like uh a different way of looking at the world, and a father like Joseph wouldn't be able to understand that.
yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't be able to understand. I have like a controversial hot take that I won't say here because I'll tell you afterwards. But
You stay having a
I know
off
because
the
I
air
don't.
controversial take.
I know.
We're trying to
Um,
take this show to the moon. You better say it. now. I'm
nah,
playing.
my bad.
I'm playing.
People on Threads are mad at me because I said audiobooks
They're
are
still on your
listening.
back?
Oh my god. What about Braille? I was like, "Bitch, do you read Braille?
I
Like,
don't have
are you
fingers.
blind? Then what are you talking about?" I have never heard a blind person say like, "Are you trying to say that No, just your
That's funny.
dumbass who sorry.
But Bossy, over the past
Sorry,
few
Dana.
days, or not even days, I think this was 2 nights ago, I didn't text you during it because we started watching Kevin Hart's roast.
I hate roasts.
And we're gonna talk about that because we started watching the roast and it came in so hot that like Brooklyn came downstairs. You're like, we gotta turn this off. Like it's just too much going on. And so we watched maybe the first 30 minutes and then everything else I kind of caught, clips online. But I want to go back and watch it. And I want to get your thoughts on one. Like what's your comedy intake? Like, do you like stand-up comedy like as a, you know, just like a bystander? Like, are you really in it? Like, do you follow the history of stand-up? And then I'll share, my perspective and roasts in general. And my hot take not even a hot take. I don't think roasts should be consumed. Like, it shouldn't be on TV.
They weren't
I don't.
supposed to. They were
Yeah,
never supposed to.
it really should be like a private thing. You want to buy it, kind of like you go and buy a R-rated movie in that section. It
I
should
don't
be
think
like a
we
specific thing that you ask to be a part of.
I I was a huge comedy nerd.
Mhm. Me too.
I
Me too.
loved, like, it I wish I had a Joe Jackson in my life because then I would be I'd be
Ladies
Carol
and
Burnett
gentlemen,
right
up to the
now.
stage. You've
Like,
seen her on Def
somebody
Comedy
push me,
Comedy
god
Jam.
damn it. Like,
That's funny.
um, no, huge comedy nerd,
Mhm.
all the stand-up, Pryor, Eddie Murphy, uh, Flip Wilson,
Mhm.
um, all of the, like, Carol Burnett, um, like, I comedy is, like, the genre I think that I am the most drawn to. I like to
Mhm.
laugh. But yeah, I all the HBO half-hour comedy hours, I
Love
was
it.
there. We have, like,
I consumed all of it.
VHS
Yeah.
tapes of just I used to have them memorized, like, Matt, oh god, I forgot his name. I forget his name. Uh,
Mhm.
but him, Matt something I can't remember, Paula Poundstone, like, I
Oh, yeah.
was in there.
Paula
I
Poundstone, yeah.
loved
And
comedy. I
they used to
loved
have
it.
remember on HBO, they had it was a comedy special that they had every year. It was like a fundraising. It was always like Robin Williams, Whoopi
Uh, uh,
Goldberg.
yes,
You know what I'm talking
for
about?
homeless,
Gary yeah, Gary
Robin Williams, Whoopi, and
Shandling,
Billy Crystal. I
Billy
used to
Crystal,
watch it.
yeah.
What was it called?
I can't think I was just looking at clips from it the other day.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I used to watch those every year. Um, but I also was aware of the Friars roast,
Yes, yeah,
and
that's
that
where
used to
yeah.
be something that was they did behind closed doors. It was just for them, but then every once in a while they'll do, they'll come out. Dean Martin's roast, Sammy Davis Jr.'s roast, of course, was very very racist.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't like I get very uncomfortable and I don't like watching people make fun of other people, especially if it's things that are like, "Wow, look at your face," like, because that's your face. You know what I mean? I don't like
Right,
that. It makes me very, very uncomfortable.
yeah.
Um, I
Look at your
don't like
face.
I don't like a I'm a comedian. Joe Jackson, where you at? Um, I don't like roasts.
Yeah.
I don't like roast. I don't like the fact that for some reason, and here's the thing, I like a good racist joke if it's good. Do you know what
Mhm.
I mean? When
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good. Like
yeah.
when it's like a when it's like the joke of black people not changing their fire
Smoke
detector,
detector.
smoke detector alarm.
I have
That
one going off right now.
I just literally like took it down rather than replace it. We're all gonna die. But
Yo. Oh,
stuff like that, when it's
yeah,
like a
and that's
nuance
not
where you're
really
paying attention to black
right,
people, you
right.
have to pay attention to black people to know it. You're
Yeah.
not just like, "Ah, look how black you are," like the night or I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
I
I
don't
mean,
like that.
I have a similar take. I mean, I do like roasts. I think there's a place for it.
They
I
can be
don't think it should
clever.
be consumed. I don't think it should be on Netflix. I don't think a kid should be able to go on and watch a roast of these people. It's too much on some level. Um, so specifically in the roast of Kevin Hart, all of the comedic greats were there. A lot of them. There was no Dave Chappelle, which I found surprising. No Eddie Murphy on that level. But there were a few white comedians that are like borderlining that like manosphere space, some that like lean right. The gentleman that I don't know his name, I'm not going to take the time to learn it, but
Shane
the
Gillis.
Shane Gillis was there, and I kind of like Shane. Like I get his humor, but it was another guy. He was like, I don't know if he spent the day on the sun, but like his face was like as red as a tomato. He looked
Is that
insane.
racist? Oh, sorry.
Might be. So he was the one that made the joke at the Trump rally about the Puerto Ricans. You remember that? Remember that a couple
Yeah,
like
I remember
last
that.
year, I think, a couple years ago.
Yeah, I
It was
remember that.
him, and he just had some really like he had a George Floyd joke um that I don't know. Okay, I don't know why it was placed in this roast to Kevin Hart, right? Like he was making fun of the other comedians that were there as well, and Cheryl, I'm about to say Cheryl Swoops.
Underwood.
Cheryl Underwood.
Cheryl Swoops.
Cheryl Underwood was there. She kind of like saved the day. I don't know if you've seen the clips about it, but like
I
she came in and a few of the white comedians were like bordering on saying the N word, rhyming it. That same comedian I was just talking about said something like, um, he made a Spirit airline joke, like something like, "What do black people have something in common? Like, even when something happens, they love to take Spirit Airlines." It was like, all right. And then he said something about, they're always fighting, just like, how those ninjas do. So, you know, let it all right. So Cheryl Underwood came up there and she was just like, "Look, I get it. We all comedians. We can say what we want to say. But if you ever say another word that sounds like bigger, trigger, figure, we in LA and I got people outside waiting for you." And she was dead serious. Like it wasn't joking. Like we are in
yeah.
LA, we're at the Forum, like the Showtime Lakers building. So she kind of like leveled it out a little bit. And she said, even after that statement, she was like, we all love free speech, right? Like but we got to treat each other, blah blah blah. So as soon as I saw the first 30-minute clip that we watched before Brooklyn came downstairs, I was like, oh God, there goes the week, because there's going to be 300 think pieces about how black people shouldn't let white people talk about black people. Is comedy, it's not comedy, it's real, is that. So I don't know where to place the genre of comedy, the very niche content within comedy that is a roast. Like, that is a niche. If
Mm.
you think these jokes are crazy, go look at the roast where Red Fox was up on talking about was it Richard Pryor? It was, I can't remember who he was roasting, but like, a roast is not normal comedy.
No,
But when you place
it's
it
not.
on, the Netflix platform where they have this comedy angle, it's like you get these think pieces. I don't think there should be think pieces about this. I just think it's like, this is a good old boys club of comedy and good old girls club. There are women in there handling themselves, holding themselves down. And I don't think we can take a joke during a roast and then make a connection to black people, let white people say whatever they want in front. Like,
It's I was it live?
it was live
Oh,
too.
that's an issue too.
It was
Okay,
live.
that's an issue for it to
It
be
was
live.
live.
Um, because people are unpredictable. So I get in well, I don't get in trouble because I don't say it, but I think that there's a lane for comedy that I leave open in ways that I wouldn't leave open for just like casual conversation or
Right. Right.
um I really like comedy and I respect comedy and I respect comedians. I think that
Mhm.
especially for black people, comedians have been the um the bringers of truth.
Yeah, the storytellers, for sure,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
in ways that have always been necessary. Like even back in the minstrel shows, black people were making before white people joined it, but like black people were making fun of white people and
Yeah.
to a comedic effect, and then
Mhm.
white people just always
Ruin
anyway.
it, ruin it.
So I think that comedy and the problems that I have when things like that happen are people who aren't fans of comedy start talking about how comedy isn't important, or
Right.
who start intellectualizing or taking comedy out of context and
Yeah.
and dissecting punchlines, but not the setup. You know what I mean? Like where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, he said this thing. This was the joke. It was like, yeah, but this is where he got. This is
Right,
where he
that's where it
came
came
from.
from. This is the
Um,
story arc of the joke, right? Yeah.
right. And even with like Dave Chappelle, I think that Dave Chappelle, regardless of what you think about what he's saying, the method in which he's saying it to me is important
Masterful.
as
He's a
as he
masterful
evolves
storyteller.
as a comedian and as
Mhm.
because you go from like the every stand up has this evolution of like stand comedian when like hey, what about those, and then as they get older they start seeing the world differently, and then
Mhm.
they become um like town criers
Yeah,
where
for
they're
sure.
they're and they have to be able to
Like
talk about
griots. Yeah.
griot,
Yeah,
there it
yeah.
is. So it's like a story, and
Mhm.
you can't dissect and take away any part of the story,
Mhm.
because it's gonna sound crazy
Yeah.
until you look at like especially with Dave Chappelle, who will start a joke, tell you a bunch of stuff, and then go back to the joke, and you realize that
45 minutes later. Right.
the
Right.
entire journey
Yeah.
was going back to that. And I understand that what he says, people like, I understand if it's offensive. I understand that it doesn't feel good a lot of the times, but
Mhm.
I cannot front on the genius it takes to be able to craft a story like that.
Yeah, without a
The
doubt.
subject matter we can debate all day long, but you cannot do the, well, he was never funny. No,
Right.
no. Yes,
He
he
was funny.
was.
Now, the
And
thing
he's
with this specific fry
same with Kevin Hart.
right, this specific one is that I see what people are saying, right? And this is the history of roasts in general.
Yeah, that's true. I'll say that.
And I think this is something too, I'm always talking about men, women. I don't want to, bash or whatever, but there are certain jokes that me and my fraternity brothers can make with each other that I would probably get fired, canceled, eliminated if I said that to a woman, if I said that in the presence of a woman, and we know those boundaries. And so I feel like on some level, like if you're roasting someone, you're playing the dozens. I hate when people like, oh, you're doing the dozens. That's black. No, you're just you roasting, you joking people,
Yeah,
right?
joning.
Like if you're joining, if you're going in, like you take the most obvious thing and it's supposed to be simple and dumb, and the delivery is what makes it funny, right? Like, I'm like, "Oh," I wanna say you because I don't wanna I'm like, "Oh, look at Micah's little stupid headphones." Like, that's dumb, like, that's the
Well,
dumbest
first
thing.
of all, hurtful. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, like, "Oh, look at Mike, like, he got a little black zip-up shirt," yes, that's so I feel like there's an art to roasting that
Yeah.
most people just don't get. And I will say that the easiest, most obvious thing when it comes to joking, especially on TV and you want to get a bang for your buck, is race, is the obvious things, is your black skin, your white skin, your short hair, your long hair, your big teeth, your big nose, like whatever it is. And so I don't care about the black jokes in relation to Kevin Hart.
Mhm.
I think where
But there's no finesse. There's no
yeah, when the court
elegance
of
to
public
it.
opinion comes in and where people it gets, where those lines get blurred is, are you talking about, random white man comedian? Are you talking about the blackness of Kevin Hart? 'Cause that's fine,
Yes.
that's your boy, you probably called him and ran this joke by him, or are you talking
Yeah.
about the black
Yeah.
listeners, viewers, me watching at home? That's the
Yeah.
power is like,
Yeah.
"Okay, like, do you think this about black people?" You could think that about your friend because 'cause you're joking your friend. We're all here to joke
Yeah.
him. He's short, he's little, he's this, he's a cheater. They were going on this joke. They were talking about his mom and dad, which
That are
they're
dead.
both passed away, which was it was. Yo, Regina Hall, just just go look at the joke Regina Hall told about Kevin Hart's mom.
Okay.
I have
Shit.
never I don't get embarrassed off jokes. Like, you say you have secondhand embarrassment. I never do.
Yeah.
I'm like, go in, go harder. Regina Hall's joke was masterful. It was I wish I could say it. I can't even do it justice. Just
Can
go.
you
It
not
was
can I look at it?
yeah, look at it. You
Can
wanna
we
look at it?
pause and look at it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go.
I wanna look at it.
It's called I can't wait. Alright, we're
But
gonna pause and go look
I
at it.
think that I think that you hit the nail on the head though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is are you talking because the little joke that I heard that oh boy was doing to Cheryl, she's got a daytime enemy because you can't see her at night or whatever. That is
Yeah.
not a Cheryl Underwood specific joke. That's a black people racist joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're jokes that you can make about because Cheryl Underwood used to always bring like her purse on stage with her. And that's like
Mhm.
an old black lady thing. That there's a
Yeah,
joke there. You know
yeah,
what I
there's a
mean?
joke
That's
there.
not about it's about her being black, but not about being black.
So, same comedian, the same one that was talking about Kevin Hart
What's his
and did the
name?
George Floyd I don't wanna give him no shine. I'm sure
It's not SNL dude, is it? It's not
no,
him.
no, it's not Pete
Okay.
Davidson. He was up there
Okay.
too. It's not Pete Davidson. But, the same guy came up on the stage talking to Cheryl Underwood, and I thought this was a pretty good joke. Now, Cheryl Underwood's husband committed suicide
Oh Jesus. Okay.
in real life, and it was clearly something that everyone knew about and everyone joked about it.
Mhm.
Yesterday, after the roast, Cheryl Underwood was on the Don Lemon show. And she said that those comedians called her ahead of time and
Okay.
asked if they could make the joke, and she said yes, as long as it's funny, right? So that's the point that I'm trying to make is that behind the scenes, all these comedians either know each other directly or one degree of separation, and they all agreed to be in this space. So who are we as just like innocent bystanders saying like, "Oh, that's wrong, that's wrong." But still, I
Yeah.
get it. So this one joke, Cheryl Underwood, the man talking to Cheryl Underwood was like, "I've been sitting next to Cheryl Underwood. You know, y'all know her from The View. If you don't know her, here's what she sounds like." And he said like, "Oh no, hell no, oh no." That was funny because that's what she sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, hell no. And so everybody laughed. And he was like, all of you know, like her husband committed suicide after being married to her for 3 years. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours and I don't know how he lasted that long. Brilliant
That's
joke.
good.
I
That's
think that
good.
was a
Yeah.
good joke, right?
Yeah. That's good.
But the people that didn't know that he called her before to set it up, of course, that's upsetting to hear that. That's why this shouldn't be available for public consumption. Like,
Yeah.
it just
And if
shouldn't.
it is, then it has to be heavily edited. Like it can't
R
be live. And there's
right.
certain, like, why do we need to see it? Like, why are we in it?
That's
If
that's their
it's
friend.
right, right.
Right.
Like, that's the thing that I've always thought. Because again, I'm thinking about the Friars Club roast. I'm thinking about the
Mhm.
infamous Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Selleck? No,
Tom Selleck.
Sam Donaldson? No,
Donaldson. Sam Donaldson?
no, no.
Sam
Sam Donaldson he was Sam on Cheers. What's his real name?
t tall guy, Ted Danson, Ted
Ted
Danson, Ted
Danson. Yes, the Ted Danson blackface thing that, like, we
Oh,
still don't know what the actual joke was. We saw the pictures.
right.
Um, but I don't, it feels like you're an alpha. It feels like we shouldn't know what y'all be doing. I don't know what y'all do when y'all
Yeah,
be,
like our
I don't know,
initiations
practicing. Yeah,
or
I don't,
yeah, our step
knowing that it
practice
happens is
or
fine. I don't need
whatever.
to see that because I feel like it's private shit for y'all, of course, absolutely.
Mhm,
So I feel like using comedy as like a fraternity, that's
mhm.
private shit for y'all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I feel like the ego of needing us to see that is a conversation in and of itself
Yeah,
because
like, "Look how
if it's
funny I am, like, look what I
right,
could
because
do." Yeah.
if the response is, "Oh, it's comedians, it's how we are," so why are we in it? Why do you put it on Netflix then?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think like jokes like that I think are fine. Um, and like I
Yeah,
said,
but
I'm a fan of comedy. I'm not a fan, like I never liked I don't like insult comedy. I
oh,
never
really?
did. Remember back when we were kids when we
Yeah,
were like, was it
yes.
Rodney Dangerfield? Who's that other guy? The little white man who just was insulting people, insult comedy. I forget his name. He was like, it was his whole thing. But
Yeah.
I was never a fan
Andrew
of that
Dice
kind of comedy.
Clay was, like, in
Yeah,
that
I
in
never
that
thought he was
in that
funny.
realm. Me
Yeah,
either, me
I never
either.
thought he was funny.
But,
He was huge. You know, I have a theory about the black comic replacement. Have I ever told this
uh-uh,
theory?
uh-uh.
So for as long as I can remember, there's always been a huge black comedian.
Mhm.
Like almost like every it was let's start with Eddie, Chris,
Uh-huh.
uh Kat. Like every year it felt like every couple of years there was like a new black comedian that was huge. Like people want to talk shit about Chris Rock. Chris Rock was huge. Those three specials,
Mhm.
Kat, and then after Kat, I think was Kevin.
Yeah,
And Kevin feels to me like Drake in that he lasted a lot longer than the other ones
than
did
people
at the
thought, yeah.
height that he did. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, what was my point about that? I can't remember
The
what my
the
point was.
replacement, something about the black replacement theory
The
or the
black
black
comic replacement.
mhm.
I can't remember I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. But like because I got stuck on the fact that Kevin's been around for a very long time and they usually don't last as long as Kevin's lasted. As
Mhm.
far as like uh, in the public consciousness.
Yeah. And that was a lot of the themes of his roast. Were just like you make really bad movies, right? Like everybody knows, like no one goes to your movies. They're horrible. Like you're the top selling comedian, but you're the third billing on Jumanji. Like that was like
Oh,
an ongoing thing, right? And I think like to me, like those are roastable jokes. Like those are things that should be shared. And there's just I sent you the Regina Hall video and
okay.
the guy, the comedian we're talking about is Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hinchcliffe.
and that's another thing. Like, why things can't exist in a vacuum these days? Because why is he there when you know all the shit that he's that he's part of?
So I think that's a question that could be asked, right? Like, I believe he's there because on some level, all of these guys are friends.
Mhm.
Even if they don't necessarily like each other or hang out with each other, like they're all a part of this very small genre of entertainment and they're all one call away, right? Like all of these guys. And so Hinchcliffe has been linked to Trump and white supremacy stuff. He did the
Joe
joke at
Rogan.
the Joe Rogan. And so he is he there because Netflix wanted him there? Because Netflix now you have this large multi-billion-dollar media company that's attached to a roast that probably no one should see. So
Mhm.
you have like all these competing priorities. Is it a business thing? Is it a comedy thing? Is that Kevin's boy? Did he ask to be there? So it's like, even Pete Davidson on some level Pete made some disparaging jokes, black jokes, but you could almost see the
Hesitation?
the hesitation, but also like the harmlessness. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's Pete, like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying. So I
yeah.
I don't ever want to be an apologist for anything that's racist, and also I feel like in this box, like racism doesn't exist. Is that
No,
that's
I hear
horrible for me
you.
to say. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
it just
I
isn't.
hear you. I hear
We
you.
shouldn't be seeing this. This is for them. This is like, I don't know. It just does. I don't want to see black people wasting our racial capital to break down why white comedians are racist when they're roasting a black comic. It seems like a waste of
So
energy.
here's also something that I've learned over the course of the last internet. um, People aren't funny. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like they don't understand. That's gonna sound patronizing, but they don't understand comedy, and a lot of the people who feel the need to dissect it in a specific way aren't fans of comedy.
yeah,
Aren't
like
they
as
don't
a
have
genre, like
the
as a
genre.
thing other than just like
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. They're not fans of they aren't fans of comedy, the comedy genre. They don't understand the history of it. They
Hmm.
don't understand the evolution of it. You know, how stand up looks different from you know, from the 60s to now.
Yeah.
They only watch Dave Chappelle
Or
so
like
they
the
can
big
talk about.
names or Chris Rock
Right.
or
Right.
right. But
And
here's my oh,
usually in order to critique it.
yeah, that's the thing. And then my thing is also I don't know I don't know if this is always the best response because what we've seen in politics, especially in entertainment a lot of the times, is a white person will come into either a black space or be in yo. You wanna go? Yeah. Oh, what time y'all leaving? Right now? Why y'all leaving so early? Yeah, I got a bad time. All right, I'll be right there. Don't go. I'll be right there. Hold on. My
Do you want to pause?
yeah, let's pause. Oh,
I can
watch
watch
those
the.
videos and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we'll come
yeah,
back. All right, we'll
yeah.
be right back, y'all. All right.
Uh,
Bossy has watched
yeah.
the
So
videos.
I watched them. The
Uh-huh.
two clips that you showed, the Tony
Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe, and the Regina Hall joke was perfect. Like it was, and even her delivery
Wait,
was
which
just
one did you was it the Green Mile one?
what Regina Hill,
Yeah,
Regina King. No,
with
I
Michael
saw
Clark
the
Duncan.
your mom says she doesn't get your movies up here because they're heaven, but she said
Oh.
that your dad does get his does get them down there. That was I thought that was funny.
There was another joke that I just,
That she did.
that
She's
she did.
great. For a
It was
non-comedian, for a
masterful.
non-comic, I should
Yeah,
say.
masterful.
She's so funny.
Mhm.
Um, I liked the first joke that Tony Hinchcliffe did. What
Which
was
one was
it?
that? Which one did he say?
Shit, I can't remember now. I liked
Okay.
the first one, and then the
Uh-huh.
second one, I was just like, okay.
The
What also is like you don't have the conviction either because he stuttered at Ninja.
See
So it's
that
like you don't,
that
you
right
know
there.
that
I was
this
like,
was
oh, you
fucked
weak.
up.
Oh, you weak. You weak.
Yeah,
You weak.
you
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 weak.
you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
say that with your chest, not
yeah,
to, you know.
yeah.
But he said, what was the first joke? There was a first joke. The
Was that the one about Cheryl? Cheryl.
no, let me.
But I must say, you did
That was
good.
whack. The
They've
seatbelt.
gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat.
Okay, so
Whack.
yeah,
Whack.
the short
Yeah.
joke.
This gig hosting the Academy Awards.
Okay, that joke I like. The next joke about being crotch level. I'd be homophobic too if you were
Yeah.
crotch level. I thought
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and
That's
then
good.
he just went into the fighting
Yeah.
ninja
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah, that was whack.
again he stuttered at it. The whole, why is George Floyd in it? Like, you know what I mean? Like these are just like,
See, that's where
these
he's
are.
bringing in his political leanings.
But
That
then
yeah.
that's when I feel like you're not joking, Kevin. You're joking. You want black people to be mad at this.
Right. Right.
Like, you know that black people are going to be mad at it, and I think that's the issue that I have with a lot of the few jokes that I did see. It's like,
Mhm.
you want you're targeting black people in general. You want
Yeah.
black people to know how you feel about this certain thing. It's
Right.
not like
Yeah.
the you said the Cheryl, you got me saying it, Cheryl Underwood
Call her
joke,
all
like that's
Cheryl.
specific
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and if she was like, yeah, do your worst, then that's understandable. But we don't know anything about this, and it's almost like, I always bring these things up like I know anything about them, but I seem to remember when I lived in New York and people still had magazines, like the adult magazines were like up and like covered in paper. You had to
Mhm.
know to
Mhm.
ask for them,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
so. And I also remember when we were little that you had to, like, people had bootlegs of like Eddie Murphy Raw and bootlegs
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
of like Richard Pryor and Red Fox and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
feel like they should be available in bootleg or high on the
Yeah.
shelf.
You gotta go
You got to
search for them a
find
little
them.
bit.
They
Yeah.
shouldn't be live for anybody to just sit and watch, because out of context,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Y uh, Maybe I shouldn't even mention who this friend is, but a friend of mine and I, for the years we've known each other for almost 20 years at this point.
Mhm.
Whenever something happens and we go in and we're like, safe space. And that just means
Like you can say whatever you want.
say
Right.
whatever.
Right.
It's like,
Right. Right.
safe space. And then we
Right.
start talking about whatever the thing is, because it's like, we know it's too crazy to
It's
say
too
out
much.
loud.
Right.
It's
Right.
too
Right.
much. We
Yeah.
know that if somebody else said it, we out loud, we'd be like, but we know that this is where we can say this stuff. We would never
Yeah.
publish the voice notes or like print out the text, because we know that that's the space that we're in. We know what the
Right.
jokes are between us. We know who we are. It's just a good, it's a good thing to be able to, like, because not everybody walks around acting like they just have the most pious, righteous thoughts all the time, like the most.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you want to say something fucked up
Right.
because you think
Right.
something
Right.
fucked up.
And here's the thing of
We don't need to see it.
why I question Netflix involvement, because now all of those things that are in our safe space conversations, those are the things that sell. Those are the
Yeah.
things that are consumed for either for to align with things that you think, or to fuel all of the think pieces. Like
Mhm.
to fuel all of the, oh my gosh, like, can you believe this? Oh, what I was saying before Ellington came in was, oh, Ellington's girlfriend's here, by the way. Have I shared that?
Oh no,
That's
you
why
haven't.
she's getting ready to leave. We'll talk about that on
Oh,
another episode. Um, lovely girl, lovely girl. I think I'm glad to see her, and this is where that next episode needs to be. Seeing your son that has been typical teenage boy, that has been all the things we know about teenage boys, seeing him transition into that role of a boyfriend is
oh God,
fucking nuts. It's an out of body. I
oh
go through
God.
moments of pride and worry and embarrassment. But like seeing him in that role, it's been really awesome. Like real talk,
Yeah.
real talk. And all the other stuff we'll talk about later. Anyway, before no, what I was saying, okay, so we're in this space now where like white people will come into a black space or into a space where they were welcome or unwelcome, and they'll say something about black people in front of black people, around them, whatever. And then the following think pieces, instead of addressing the behavior that the white person did,
It's why the black people let it
they
happen.
will address and shame and belittle and call all sorts of coons to the black people that were in the space that, quote unquote, allowed the white person to say what they did. He said something about George Floyd, I would have got up there and beat his ass. Like, that is the summary of all of the think pieces from other comedians even that were like, "Oh, that would never happen. All these black people in there, you gonna let them come there and talk about Lizzo?" Why was Lizzo there? Lizzo was there. If we
Oh,
haven't, yeah. Anyway, that's another story.
okay.
But yeah. So like, I just don't. If you're gonna make a think piece about white people coming into spaces and saying whatever, then just leave the focus on the white people that said it.
Mhm.
Like, leave your vitriol to them. Like, don't bring in like, oh, Kevin Hart. We always knew Kevin Hart was a coon. Did we?
Did we?
Like, did we
I mean, he
always
was
know
he was
that?
we didn't know he was, like, the best person in the world, and that's the thing
Right. Like,
too,
we
when
didn't
they
think he
start doing the
was. Yeah.
Kevin Hart was never funny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are still 10 years later quoting
Yeah. Right.
his stand-up and not even realizing that it's same with your chest, that's him.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I don't like the rewriting when it's like, now you're all just realizing that he was never funny. That's
Like, come on. Come on.
you I I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
May 12th already? Good God.
Damn, it is.
Ridiculous. I don't know. I think that the problem that I have with what I saw of Hinchcliffe and something like the racist stuff is that, and I think I said this, where it's like, are you saying this because your boy thinks it's funny, or do you want people to know how you feel about black people?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that to me is the line.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
I keep thinking about the Dean Martin roast, and they were like joking on Sammy Davis Jr. and Sammy used to
Mhm.
just take a lot of like they used to say a lot about him, and
Mhm.
he but it was very clear to me that, I mean, if you know anything about Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and the whole Rat Pack thing, they were friends, and
Mhm.
that was
Yep.
very clear. So I think for here too, it's like, are Kevin Hart and Tim Hinchcliffe friends? Are, you know what I mean? Like, we don't. It's one thing to be like, oh, they have like that stand-up comic bond, but none of them are really doing the stand-up circuit anymore. So it's like, it's weird for us to like really understand. And if you're putting all of that in our faces, we don't know what the prior relationships are. We don't know anything about like the sacred world of stand-up comics.
Mhm.
Again, why are we in it? Because we don't
Why
we
are
have
we in
no
it?
frame of reference for any of this.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't know. I don't like roasts. They can be funny. There are some that I remember being funny, but most of the time it's just, I don't like shock humor. I
Mm.
don't like an insult comedy. I don't like
Mhm.
uh I think now they call everything punching down, and I don't think it's about punching down. I think you can make a joke about anybody if you think it's actually funny, and
Right.
it's not like uh uh what do you call it? Um it's not like basic, or you know what I mean? Like, it's not
Yeah.
just like what
Yeah.
we're saying, like, it's like, "Oh, you're so black that the sun da da da." Like,
Right.
all those jokes have been told already. So what are you
And
doing
I
that's a little interesting?
and I feel like what you brought up Dave Chappelle, or we were talking about Dave Chappelle, and people have criticized him for his comedy stance on trans women or the trans community. And I I dissect comedy. I've been same like you, watching comedy for a long time. And I really, maybe I'm being too obtuse or just like not focused on the right thing, but I saw what Dave Chappelle was doing with the entire trajectory of his trans history. And
Yeah.
I think it's really brilliant. And I think that he's doing the exact opposite of what people are saying he's doing. I think he's, like, in a way, like, trying to normalize being trans, and, like, anybody can get it. And I think on some level, like, that levels it makes a trans person a normal person. Like, if we could joke about disabled people, black people, whoever, whatever your thing is, then surely trans people can get these jokes off.
So I'm loath to agree with you because
And I
I
know
don't feel like
that's a tough take.
I don't no.
Yeah.
It's I saw Dave Chappelle isn't as funny to me as he used to be for me, as far as like
Mhm,
the kind of jokes that he tells and what I find funny from him or in the past. The I can't remember what the special was, but the one after his trans friend passed away
mhm, mhm.
and he did this whole thing and people were like, "Oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that?" And there was a part in that that I think people didn't hear, didn't put together, where he was basically saying, "You did this to my friend
Yes.
because she was my friend.
Mhm, mhm,
This
mhm,
is our relationship. This is
mhm.
who she was to me. This is
Yeah.
who I was to her. This
Mhm.
is like just like really just telling the story about how
Like, normalizing he was normalizing her.
yeah,
Like, in the
he was memorializing her.
he was
He was and okay.
and that part, yeah.
I this goes into a lot and even in this conversation, I'm thinking about people hearing it and saying, "Oh, so you're defending Block," as
Mhm.
opposed to, I don't necessarily agree with what was said or how, but I understand what the point was.
Well, yeah.
I understand where he thought it was going, and I also understand what we've known of Dave Chappelle since the moment we met him is basically like a, "Don't tell me what to do.
Right. Right.
Imma do it, and then
Imma
I'm gonna
lean
do it
into it harder
I'm
now. Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly." So it became more of, it became very clear to me that a lot of people were watching clips and making judgments on the clips because there were critiques to be had, don't get
Yeah,
me wrong.
for
There
sure,
were
for
critiques to
sure.
be had, but the ones that I see are always based on people sharing clips out of context.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, this that's not the part y'all should be mad at. There's a part earlier
Yeah.
where he said X that,
Mhm.
so I think that there is something to be said, and I'm just gonna get myself in trouble. I think there is something to be said for the idea that comedy is it is difficult to be funny unless you have a lot of um what's that word? Not prerequisites.
Mhm. Mhm.
When you what's the word when you're like you before I tell this joke, I need to make sure that you know that I
Oh, like a
understand this and I did
disclaimer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
disclaimers, like a bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
disclaimers.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think it's because we talk about all the time, there's a lack of literacy.
Mm,
People don't know
mhm.
how to look beyond what it is that they already think, combined with what they think other people already think, and just look at things at as what they are
Yeah.
and able to even if you don't find it funny, just knowing that this is where the joke lies though, not as I don't think this is funny, but I see where the joke is. I see the setup, I
Right.
see
Right.
the
Right.
punchline, I see the fault. He's so
Yeah.
good at toppers. Dave Chappelle. Sorry, Dave Chappelle's a genius when it comes to storytelling and joke
He
writing. I'm
really
sorry.
that's where he is now.
It just
I
is what
watch
it
a
is.
whole Dave Chappelle series now and not laugh once.
Not
Or I
once.
might be like, but because that's not what I'm enthralled by. I'm enthralled
Yeah.
by, like, did you see the one where he told the story about Jack Johnson? Yo.
Why
And
do I want to say yes?
that's the last one. I think it came out just a couple months ago. Where he
Yeah, yeah.
told
Then I
the
saw it.
whole
Then I saw it.
story about Jack Johnson and the bill that was made, it was right around the time Diddy went to jail. He's making all these connections and
Yeah.
how he went to Saudi Arabia. He had a trans joke in there too. It was just, it was
Yeah, I
masterful.
did
And
see
I
that. I
was
did see that.
watching every move. I was just like, yo, like, just wait, anticipating, like, when is he gonna drop the shoe? Like, when, like, where is this
Yeah.
going? And I just think, I don't know. I don't, Dave Chappelle is he's a different person.
A lot of his specials, like I'm the same way. I can count the number of times I laugh, but I can always count on being so like he'll say this is going to be the punchline, and then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, and then just tell the entire thing, and then hit the punchline, and you're like,
wow,
fuck, he told us. And then the one where now we're just talking about Dave Chappelle, when he's like, the first time I met OJ Simpson, and then he just tells a story, then the second time, and then it just all connects. And then there was this one where he was telling the story about but there are things that people, oh god, I felt like don't write any comments, we're not gonna read them, but like the points that he makes about this thing happened, the Emmett Till story. Do you remember that from one of his specials, where he was talking about all of the things that came out as a result of Emmett Till's mother deciding to show, like,
yes.
I like that kind of comedy. I like the storytelling aspect. I like when the comedy is painting a larger picture. But I think that what's happening now is that people want comedians to reflect what they already think.
Yeah, they want to be like altruistic, to have
And
like
it's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're getting far away from the roast thing, but
No,
I think it just connects with what it is, the problem that I have with roast, and the problems that I have with that is, like, I think that the comedians use it as an opportunity to be like, ha, I can say whatever I want, but it's not funny. And then people use that as a way to say, see, people aren't funny without being able to
be racist,
when I don't think it's like, I don't think it's that cut and dry, black and white, no pun intended. Just be funny.
It was, and I think, I mean, I said this, I think, on this episode, I think making fun of the obvious thing is funny in the context of a roast. In the context of you're in front of someone and you're it's like freestyling, right? It's like people might say, if you watch a rap battle, are you into rap battles, like what they've turned into?
I was actually thinking rap battles and roast at the same thing.
I mean, it's the same kind of ridiculous. Like, would this sell an album? Probably not. To talk about like how many ways I can kill you with different guns, like that's inappropriate, sir. Like, but in a rap battle, like, I wanna hear how many ways you can make a gun sound. If it's blah blah, if it's boom boom, blah, blah, like, I don't care. Like, I want to hear it all. Like, and I'm not even violent like that. So it's like,
I want to hear you make fun of this dude's speech impediment. Face.
And if you found out something about his mom, and if his dad was a snitch, I want to hear it all, because I want to hear,
and
like,
people know, and they're like,
valid,
right? But to us, we don't know the we're not in that world.
And if I were to just be a common rap fan and go to a battle and be like, oh my God, we have to stop this black on black violence. No.
But when you see what happened with the Drake Kendrick thing, it's gone too far.
Oh, right. Exactly. It's people that you don't even understand rap battles to be like, man, that's a good analogy, like the rap battle. Like what rap battle? Like the UFC? No, UFC, is that what it's called? UPC, UFC. Anyway, but I
I know what you're talking about.
There's like a platform where they have all the big rap battles, and all they do is talk about guns and how many ways I'm gonna kill you and cut your head off, eat it, come back, put it back on. Like, that's just it's ridiculous. And so we can't look at that and be like, dang, rap has really gone to shit because these rap battlers are, like, you can't use the extreme
to your point about wasting think pieces, or like all of that. I think that, again, it just goes back to like the content culture. Do you really care? Are you really that hurt about this, or is this just part of what it's just fueling content?
Right.
Because like I said, I don't like that, so I just didn't pay any attention to it.
And it probably didn't show up on your feed, like, but it was all over mine. Like, to this day, like, I scrolled out, it's like 30 different.
When was it? Was it this
was
weekend?
Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the big thing too that not as many people are talking about is that Cat Williams and Kevin Hart squash their beef on stage, like in a real moment.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
Cat came out to roast Kevin. It was nice. It was dope. Like, did his little jokes. And at the end, Kev came out and was like, yo, Cat, like we've had beef. You don't like me, I don't like you, but we have a moment. Like, we're here, you're here for me. Like, let's squash it. They shook hands, and I'm like,
Aw,
this is a moment. Like, this, it was such a,
I
for
didn't even
those
hear
that
about that.
know about their beef and like why, it's been so long. Cat called him an industry plant, like,
It
and
said he
he
was a
shared some
light-skinned, funny-looking wife.
he shared all these things in the roast, right? So for Kevin to come
I'll
and
look for
for
that.
them to shake hands, that was a dope moment. It was a lot
Because
of
the
dope
only
moments
reason
in
I even know
there.
it happened was because I saw the Usher clip of him singing "Burn," and
Yeah,
that I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
yeah.
So that's,
Lizzo
and
was
then you
on
mentioned
there
it.
cracking jokes. Tiana Taylor was on there, so it's just like
Yeah,
Tom Brady came out. Like, it was dope. Like, I thought it was a dope event with some cringe moments that
that's what
shouldn't
roasts are,
be.
though.
Yeah, it shouldn't be digestible for the normal public. Like, yeah.
Did you ever see that Kevin Hart show on Netflix with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, I did. I liked that.
It was so
I
good.
liked it.
It was
I
so
liked it.
good.
I did see that.
It
It was
was
like a little
so good, and
7
people,
episodes, 6, 7
yeah,
episodes. Yeah.
people didn't. I was really impressed. I was like, oh, so
He's just
he's
one of
got,
those people. He's kind of like
yeah,
he could do it all. Like, he does everything like at a B level, right? Like, he's not
yeah.
like excellent necessarily at everything. I think Kevin Hart is funny. I think he's a
I think it's
naturally
funny too.
funny person. I think his stand-ups
Yeah,
are his early stand-ups were a lot funnier than his new ones, but I
yeah.
think he's still really funny. He's just a
I
naturally,
understand his appeal. People
yeah.
act like he was just there because he's a coon, but I
He doesn't even
see.
really be doing cool shit like that for
Yeah,
real.
the thing
Yeah.
with him though is that his mask slips a lot, where he's like, "Oh, you're not a very nice person in real life." So
Oh, oh, oh,
he
you think
started
so?
letting, yeah, he started letting his mask slip quite often, and that's when I was like,
Mm,
okay. But I
okay.
do think that his shtick, the thing that he does, that little like uh insecure, like not insecure, but like I don't want to be here. That
Yeah,
little
yeah.
thing that he does, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
funny. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny. I thought it was funnier when I thought it was him. But
Mhm.
once I saw, there was this clip that I saw that made me like,
With
was
his
like the turning point for
with his
him.
trainer? And I think they were kinda like
It was
beefing, like, yeah.
about buying a house or something like that.
I don't
Something like that.
remember. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was one of them, but
Yeah.
he was doing a press run for something, and he went to the UK,
Mhm.
and there's this kid, and I call him a kid because he's been a YouTuber since he was like 16.
Mhm.
This kid out of London, and he was like trying to like, you know how every little, they do the press junket, and they come in and it's a different interviewer just
Yeah.
talking to them, say background. And so they all try to come in and try to have like their little spin so they're not asking the same questions. So his thing was teaching him like
I know.
London slang. And
Mhm.
he was like, it was him, Kevin, and two of his co-stars. And he was like really trying to like, so what do you think this means? And Kevin was like being really rude and
Mhm. Mhm.
making fun of the interviewer. This is a kid, he's like 19 years old, making fun of
Yeah.
the interviewer. And it was just very, I watched as like, this is very uncomfortable. You see what this kid is trying to do. He's trying to
Mhm.
make this interesting. You're probably tired, probably whatever, but you're being a jackass. Like
Yeah.
that's when I
Yeah, yeah,
started
yeah,
like
yeah.
noticing like little things like that when it would slip. And then I started hearing stories like he's not a very nice person. I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
persona he's created is supposed to be like this nice, like silly guy.
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
Yeah.
But once I saw it slip, I was like, okay, I'm off on him a little bit. But his first couple of comedy specials, I'm a grown little man. I can
Brilliant.
quote that bar for
Brilliant.
bar,
Yeah.
bar
Brilliant.
for bar. So I
Yeah.
do think he's funny. I think he was funnier, but I don't know. I think that it's, to me, it's just one of those things that it does not. This is not ending the world in any way, shape, or form.
For sure.
This is not. This is not why the reason Trump's in office. Like it's really. just
Right.
something that
Literally, yeah.
wasn't
Which
funny.
I feel like I saw someone actually
Of
say,
course, of
like,
course, of
make
course.
a
In this
connection to, like, "This is why you niggas get" oh, like, alright, calm
yeah,
down.
this is why common lost. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I understand people being upset by it. I don't understand them being upset. Was it today's what, Tuesday?
yeah.
If they're still upset about by Friday, I'm like, "All right,
Like, relax. Relax.
you don't have enough problems, clearly."
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, I mean, it's the internet. It's the way things are. People get upset
It's
about
what they
shit.
do. It's what they do.
It's what
Well,
they do.
Bossy, this week, next time, we will be immersed in Iceman.
Oh,
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
Okay.
Like, Friday.
It comes out this Friday?
Friday, I'm calling you at midnight. We're gonna listen to it together on live.
Mm. Oh, do you wanna do that? I don't mind doing that.
Mm.
I don't mind doing that because I probably will listen.
Oh, I'm gonna be in no. I'm going to New York Friday morning. Maybe we could we'll listen to it solo and then maybe we can come
I
back and
promise you I
listen
might
to
not listen to it solo. I
no,
promise you.
no, we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna do it. You gotta do it. This is history in the
I
making.
mean, for sure. I will I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
All right, y'all. Well, keep finding the truth in the chaos, the clarity in the culture, and the joy in the journey. And we'll see you next week. We are the Idea Pod on everything.
Wait, did
What?
you say the nuance and the something? Did you say that already? Oh, you
Yeah,
just said it.
yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yes. This episode was all over the place. Go see Michael
Go see Michael. Go
and
watch
don't watch
the
the
roast.
Netflix roast. Okay. All right, bye.
All right. Pete. Oh man, that was funny.